All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. Have you ever caught yourself wondering why certain stories or, certain symbols just seem to absolutely grip us no matter where we come from or what language we speak? Well, today we are going to explore the hidden scaffolding of your very own thoughts. We're talking about the invisible architecture that literally shapes how you see the world. To do this, we're grounding our entire journey today in Carl Jung's massive, seminal work, specifically Volume 9 of his collected works, The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious. Now, Jung wasn't just your standard psychiatrist. He was really more of an explorer charting the completely unknown territories of human nature. So our goal here is to take his dense, clinical observations and translate them into a vivid, interconnected map of your mind.
Think about this for a second. What if the blueprints to every myth, god, and monster are already hiding inside your brain? It completely flips how we usually think about our own imagination, right? I mean, we tend to think of our minds as these blank slates, just soaking up stories from the outside world. But Jung proposed the exact opposite. He argued that the whole cast of characters is actually already in there, just sitting in the green room, waiting for the play to begin.
Okay, let's dive in with Section 1, the deep, ancient ocean.
So if we look just beneath the surface of our everyday awareness, we find a pretty stark contrast. Your personal unconscious. It's kind of like a little shallow puddle on the beach. It just holds your own forgotten memories, your personal repressed experiences. But beneath that puddle lies the collective unconscious. And this is a vast, ancient ocean that we all swim in together. You don't acquire it during your lifetime, it's actually inherited. Just like you inherit the physical structure of your lungs to breathe air, Jung argues you inherit a psychological structure to process human experience.
Moving right along to Section 2, invisible blueprints of mind.
Now, if the collective unconscious is this massive ocean, what exactly is swimming down there? Well, archetypes. But you have to think of archetypes not as specific, detailed pictures, but rather as invisible molds just waiting to be filled by your own life experiences. They're completely formless blueprints. An archetype isn't a picture of a specific mother or a specific hero. It's your inherited capacity, your instinct, to recognize a mother or a hero. It is the underlying architecture shaping human behavior across every single culture.
Jung described this beautifully. He said the archetype in itself is empty and purely formal, kind of like the axial system of a crystal. Let's do a quick logic check here, because this is where it gets really cool. If we are completely rational beings, it literally defies probability that completely unconnected cultures, separated by massive oceans and thousands of years, would just happen to dream up the exact same dragons, tricksters, and saviors, right? These shared myths aren't just wacky coincidences. They are the ultimate proof of a shared, inherited mental hard drive. Without that pre-installed software, these identical myths simply wouldn't exist across the globe.
All right, on to Section 3, meeting shadow and soul.
As you navigate this internal map, you inevitably bump into its primary residence. First off, you've got to squeeze through this dark, narrow gate of your own shadow. These are the hidden, honestly kind of dark parts of yourself that you totally refuse to acknowledge. It's a rough passage for sure. But once you push through it, boom, you're struck by the sudden lightning bolt of the anima or animus, which is the unconscious feminine or masculine counterpart inside you. This figure acts like a bridge, directly connecting your conscious, everyday mind to the absolute deepest parts of your soul.
Which brings us to Section 4, the mother and child.
Let's look closely at the mother paradox. Jung makes it super clear that archetypes are inherently dual-natured. They have two faces. The mother archetype is, of course, the life-giving, fertile soil that grows us, and the sheltering tree that protects us. But flip that coin, and she is also the devouring abyss. The terrifying dragon of our nightmares that absolutely refuses to let us grow up and be independent. Both are real, and both live simultaneously right there in our minds.
And popping right out of that intense tension is the child archetype. It's really often symbolized as a golden egg just hovering above the chaotic waters. In Jung's structural map, the child represents this untouched potential, your future wholeness. It is the pure, somewhat irrational seed of your future unified self. It acts as the ultimate bridge between who you are right now and what you can ultimately become in this massive mental architecture. Section 5, the mandala of self. So what is the endgame here? What's the ultimate destination of this wild psychological journey? It's the self, the mind's overarching totality. Jung noticed this incredible pattern. Across all different cultures, humans instinctively draw these intricate, circular, geometric patterns called mandalas whenever they are trying to center themselves. The self acts as your geometric compass. It's like an internal autocorrect mechanism, desperately trying to pull the chaos of the shadow, the anima, and your conscious mind into one beautifully ordered, balanced whole.
And finally, Section 6, navigating your inner universe. We've mapped the deep ocean floor, but hey, we still gotta live up here on the dry land of reality, right? Jung used a brilliant metaphor to sum this up. He said, we are all fishermen. We cast our nets into the deep collective unconscious to pull up the vital creative energy, the art, and the meaning that we need to survive. But, and this is crucial, we must stay firmly anchored on the shore. If we fall in, we risk totally drowning in the madness of the deep. It's a very delicate but absolutely necessary balancing act.
So, I want to leave you with this final, kind of wild, slightly absurd thought to ponder today. We are all walking around trying to navigate the completely mundane modern world, right? While simultaneously carrying the heavy mythological gods of the collective unconscious right inside our heads. Every single one of us is walking around with a deep, ancient ocean, invisible crystal blueprints, dark gates, and golden eggs inside our minds. Yet somehow, we still have to figure out what to make for dinner tonight. How are you going to navigate your inner ocean today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.